State used their 44 yards away to do it. He got it! He got it! And the Yellow Jackets did it!
Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of this season of Parker's Predictions. He's Jimmy, I'm Parker, and we're here to give y'all our first predictions on the 2024-2025 college football season.
We made it.
We finally made it. I mean, we've been counting down since I remember seeing some posts about 95-yard kickoffs, 95 days away, 95-yard kickoff return. Now we're down to Bijan days left.
Yeah, we're there, man. We're really there.
We're in the week where real college football is played.
Speaking of real college football, we got a real good teaser that they taste back in our mouth with that game on Saturday. Oh, what a game!
If you didn't watch that FSU Georgia Tech game, that could be one of the top 10 games of the year already.
And
that was played in week 0.
Yeah, playing well.
Everyone was dogging on Georgia Tech going to that game, saying, "Oh, Georgia Tech got all these cool helmets for Ireland and all that, but they're gonna get killed 40-0 against FSU." They went out there and they taught them how to play some ball.
I tell you what, man, I was on and off during the beginning part of that game because I was almost for sure Florida State was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, they went up early.
They came out and they scored quick and they went for 2, and I'm like, oh, this is going to get ugly quick. But Georgia Tech came down and responded, went for 1. You know, the smart call there.
And FSU, I mean, they ended the game with 21 points, but it's not a 21 points you would have expected.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 11, turned into 14, then a touchdown. It was a very weird game, but
yeah.
I mean, the last time Georgia Tech beat a top 10 opponent was FSU in 2015. That was the stat they put up there.
And they were right by giving player of the game to the Georgia Tech quarterback.
Yeah, that quarterback.
But don't forget about that kicker. He made 2 big kicks in the first half of that game. I know he missed one.
It was the FSU kicker that made those big kicks.
Oh, he made the big
and
kicks.
Then the Georgia Tech kicker made the clutch kick.
You're right. Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, yeah.
But that quarterback deserved player of the game. I mean, he balled out. I mean, he took that game and, he's like, I'll give it to me. I'll take care of business from here.
I mean, he went out there and he proved to FSU why they're the better team.
Yeah.
And that FSU is just some frogs this year, maybe.
Oh, man. It just sucks because FSU, they end up getting smoked in the bowl game. And I know they were missing their quarterback, and a lot of players sat out that
13-0,
game.
they should have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they didn't let them into the playoffs, so they get smoked in their bowl game. And then they're like, all right, now we're on a redemption tour. We're gonna go 13-0 again, or undefeated. We're gonna blow everybody away to where you guys cannot leave us out. And they
lose the first game of the year. If you're an FSU fan, that is the one thing you can't do. You can lose any other game, but losing the first game of the year...
Yeah, they needed to get that ball back rolling, and unfortunately it's rolling in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean...
So I feel like we just had to say something about that game.
I mean, just Georgia teams. What's next? Georgia Southern? Are they going to play Georgia Southern in like a year or 2 and lose to them as well?
With so many good games on this weekend. So we're gonna do the same thing we did last season, right? You want to do 2 games and then the Texas game?
Normally we would do an NFL game, but NFL's not on yet. They're taking a bye week for preseason and then they're back. So on week 2 of the college football season, we'll be back with NFL games. We'll try to be predicting a lot of Cowboys ball.
Of course.
But we're gonna go with our normal picks on game day, basically for the NFL. So yeah.
So this week we got all 3 college games.
I mean, we got some really, really good college games as well.
Yeah. I mean, this first one that you have slated, USC LSU in Vegas.
In Vegas, baby.
Yeah. LSU, they matchup predictor. They're a 55.4% chance favorite in that game.
So it's basically a toss-up?
Basically a toss-up, yeah. The one thing that I will say about LSU, they did win their bowl game last season, right? So they finished on a high note, 35-31 against Wisconsin. But the previous 4 games before that bowl game, they scored over 42 points in either one of those games. All 4 of those games leading up to the bowl game. And they scored 35 in the bowl game. Mm-hmm. So I know the quarterback's gone, but they were definitely putting up some mad points. You know, they had the loss to Alabama, but then they finished the season strong with 4 straight wins.
They had the Heisman winner on their team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they weren't the standout team that was like, is this the team that can make a run and make it into the playoffs? No, they already lost, 3 games last year by the time they lost to Bama.
Uh-huh.
They already knew they were out of it before even that. So, this is LSU's national championship right here.
Mm-hmm.
You beat USC, you have a chance at 1-0.
Uh-huh.
You're beating a Big Ten team, a powerhouse
team, yeah.
A powerhouse Big Ten team.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
In Vegas,
That's weird to say, Big Ten team.
Mm-hmm. You're going over there beating USC, especially after what USC went through last year. I mean, USC fans,
yeah.
Top of the world to unranked,
yeah.
losing their star quarterback to the first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
Yeah. If you look there, I mean, just take a look at the way they finished the season there. You know, they it's like they did win their bowl game. Mm-hmm. They did beat Louisville, right? But previous to that, I mean, they had lost their last 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that last year USC, and normally most of the years USC is always an offense-only team.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it many, many times. USC never has a defense. So as long as you can hold the USC offense one time, just once, you're normally going to be able to win the game.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they really do need a... I mean, it's hard, though, with this high-flying offenses these days.
Yeah.
But if you can just play a little bit of defense and score, 35 points a game, you got a really good chance of winning. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it just seems like all of these teams that are in that, 1 through 15, ranked 1 through 15, and maybe even higher than that, they're putting up points.
They are.
It's a track meet out there. So,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It used to be just like you were down in the trenches the entire game, and the game would end 10-3, and that would be an average game. Nowadays, we get games that are 24-21 averagely, maybe sometimes 35-28, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the average score of a game now because of these offenses.
Yeah. I mean, as of right now, it could move around before. You said they're playing on Sunday?
They're playing on Sunday.
Sunday in Vegas. The line right now is leaning towards LSU by 4.
I can see that.
Right? So 4 points to LSU.
It's just hard to know on week 1 because you've never seen this team play before.
That's the thing. You can't... All the points they were putting up last season...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't know what this team is.
Not only do you have to forget it, I mean, it's the first game of the season, but they lost their star quarterback.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Both teams lost the star quarterback.
So the fact that you got this over-under that's teasing you at 64.5 points, right? That's a lot of points for fresh offenses to go out there and just...
Especially with both of these teams. I mean, both of these teams they're always the team that kind of just reload every year and year. They're always going to be in the top 25.
Yeah. I think this is where you could have your hiccups and get off to a slow start. So the 64.5 is very high for me.
I would definitely
take the under on that. Right.
I could take the under on. It's hard. It's crazy to say this against USC LSU, but if there was like a 50-point over under, I might
You'd
take
still
the under
take
there.
that too. So you're definitely going to take the 64.
These are 2 fresh teams. Mm-hmm. Most of them have never really touched the field before.
Yeah.
I mean, they've maybe gotten that in trash time. I've never heard of anyone on these teams.
Yeah, 64.5 seems like a lot. I definitely think it'll be close for a little bit, but I can see LSU definitely, not pulling away, but maybe winning with,
a
field goal at the end or something. So the -4 towards LSU, I don't know if I would touch that because I think it's going to be a close game. USC's going to be coming in looking for a dogfight. LSU definitely will be playing. Hopefully, their same type of ball. I just don't see them scoring the way they were scoring at the end of last season.
Yeah,
many points, but who knows?
I mean, like I just said a couple minutes ago, it's really hard to predict week 1 games because we've both never seen these offenses before in our entire lives. I mean, there's always going to be at least one new guy on the offense from last year. I bet there's never been an offense probably ever that's been a returner. There's probably at least been a guy that stepped up in the offseason or a new freshman that stood out. The team isn't always going to be the same.
Yeah.
So I believe that LSU, USC, I could see this being like a game where they both score off the first drive and then they just die out at the end.
Oh, yeah. So you're thinking it's a low score.
I'm thinking we end the game with like some sort of score like a 21-24 LSU.
There you go. Yeah.
Or something like a 24-28 LSU, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, it's funny that you say that. I was thinking this game was going to end 24-21, and I was thinking that all along. I think it's going to be more of a SEC-style game, like old traditional SEC style, to where, you get your field goal kicker out there,
Yeah.
Ground and pound. Punt the ball. We're not going for it on
Yeah,
fourth
not
and
going
eight.
in for fourth and eight.
Play field position. I think we're going to have some of that this game. So definitely take the under. And I got them winning by 3. So
yeah. I got LSU winning by 3 as well. If I have to say a score, I'll probably, since I'm not going to say exactly what you're going to say, I'm going to say 28-24 LSU.
Okay. All right. There you go.
That's our first.
That's the first pick of the year. There it is. Which takes us to the next game.
Maybe we can try to keep it up like they do on college game day, where they keep their predictions all season.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And see the record.
Let's definitely do that.
So we both take LSU for the first week.
Okay. All right. So we both got LSU first week. Okay.
And now it's not gonna be, but this should be game day in my opinion. There's
a lot of game days out there this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this. Oh man, poor. I mean, I'm not gonna say poor anybody. It's week 1. Who knows? But if matchup predictor is any indication of how it's going to go, 82.2% leaning towards Georgia in our next game.
Yeah.
Georgia versus Clemson. How do you see it going?
I mean, Clemson has always been a team that, like the other last 2 teams, they've always recruited.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been top 25. They always find ways to get guys.
Uh-huh.
But Georgia these past few years, I mean, they've just been on a huge upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
They've hit the 5 stars. They've hit most of the 4 stars. Everyone's just wanting to come to Georgia. They're getting all these recruits. They got their quarterback coming back. They got some of their receivers coming back. The O-line coming back. They got everyone that they need to be coming back.
Yeah.
So I see Georgia just...
It's hard to go up against that. I mean, when a team can just reload like that, and not only reload from year to year, but reload from first down to second down. If someone's tired, they just rush in another big guy.
I mean, yeah. Whenever you have the talent like that to just put out the same skill level of a guy as the team you're playing, and then you have another backup guy that's a little worse, but he's still there.
Yeah, you're getting subbed by another 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, what are we even doing here?
It's crazy to think about that. I mean, the 5 stars are sitting on the bench behind other 5 stars.
Exactly. That's pretty wild to think about.
The huge thing in this game is gonna be the crowd. Mm-hmm. That's what I can see. So the question is, where is this game?
This game is going to be played in Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
See, that's a huge advantage to Georgia right there. If this was in Clemson, those Clemson fans.
Yeah.
They've been through it these past few years. I mean, I forgot what year it was. In the past, at least 7 years, they won a national championship with Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went on a decline. They went unranked for a little bit. Now they're back up to the top.
Yeah.
Can they go back to their old days of dominating football? Is the question.
Oh man! Speaking of dominating football, 63-3 was their last football game they played.
Georgia?
So they beat up on FSU that bowl game. I mean, why even play that game?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got to play the team in front of you, but that was just. sad to see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Georgia was just. They said before that game, we lose to a great Alabama team that lost to a great Texas team, and we're let out of the college football playoff. We have a 13-0 record behind us. We crushed every team before that, and we're left out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they said, FSU, you're next, and they went out there and they 63-3.
I think that you said it best right there. You could have put any team out there. I mean, FSU got their butt whipped, but. I mean, you take.
You could have put Michigan out there.
Yeah, you take your if you leave them out of that championship match, and let's say for some crazy reason, we all know Michigan goes on to win it, but let's say you put Georgia up against Michigan after you leave them out of the championship.
I could see. Yeah, that game could be ugly.
Georgia was pissed off.
Georgia could win that game 35-0.
Yeah,
right there.
they were upset.
And they have every right to be. I mean, they lost one game. It was the SEC championship. That's the biggest game before the national championship.
And they lost it by 3 points.
And they lost it by 3 points. Yeah. And
27-24.
Lost it to a great Alabama team. And I mean, they could have replaced Alabama, and it would have been it could have been a better playoff. Or Texas, there could have been some mismatch.
Yeah,
Georgia.
I'm a little. At first, I was a little bit hesitant on going all in on this new the 12-team playoff system that they got going on this year. But now, I think I'm in.
It's really, really, if you're the committee, and with especially last year with all the great teams, like with Texas upsetting Bama, Bama could never pass Texas is what they were saying.
Yeah.
Because Texas beat Bama.
Yeah.
That's how it works. If you get beat by a team, that proves that they're better. Even if it was just a fluke or something that week, they're still better.
Yeah.
So now with this 12-team playoff, you don't leave out teams like Georgia.
Yeah.
Whenever they lose the SEC championship to someone who lost to Texas.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think I'm really excited about if you were to do an 8-team playoff, you'd get your Notre Dames, you get your Penn States, you get those teams in. But a lot of times, I mean, I don't know how many times Notre Dame has been fool's gold to us.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we've
but
seen
you get
it
a team
time
in
and
there,
time again.
Yeah, you get a team in there like an Oklahoma State, a Utah, something
Kansas,
like
a Liberty, something like that. You know?
Yeah, you get a team in there that hits that stride at the end of their season, and you know they're firing on all cylinders. People are healthy. I'm excited to see how that 8 to 12 range teams.
I really want
it
to,
playoffs.
and I don't want it to extend anymore, and I don't want this to become like some NFL playoff thing.
Yeah,
I want it to stay at 12 teams, but just know that the teams that are ranked 16 to 13 are going to be as upset as the teams ranked 5 to 8.
Yeah, yeah.
With the old playoff system, there's always going to be people that are mad.
Yeah, I mean,
but whenever you have 3 losses at number 12, you can't really complain about that.
I think they got it right. I think 12 teams is perfect.
Because 8 teams is a little bit too little, because there's also the teams that have 2 losses, but they win the championship game and all that. And the one thing I don't like about this new playoff system is every single championship winner is top 4, and they get a bye week.
Yeah.
It should be the best 4 teams get a bye week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'm with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Think about it as you got undefeated Texas and an undefeated Georgia. Not this year, but years to come. You got undefeated Texas, undefeated Georgia, undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Michigan. All these teams, and one loses because someone has to lose that game. Someone loses and they don't get a top spot, even though they went undefeated.
Yeah.
Throughout their season, they prove that they can beat teams, but they lose to another good team.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be the top 4 teams are the best teams, and they get their bye week.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I have no argument on that. I mean, that's just the way it should go. It makes the most sense, you know.
But anyways, back to the game that we're supposed to be.
Oh yeah, so with that game, I think this is the year because Dabo Swinney used to have the Tigers on the top of the hill.
Yeah, I mean,
they were the team.
I mean, they were always number 1 in recruiting. They were always.
I think he wants to come out and show everybody this is the year that he's like, hey, y'all forgot about us. Y'all been sleeping on us. We've been recruiting. We got a good team, and you know what? We're ready to play some ball. So I think Dabo can. It's going to be tough, but I think if Dabo can come out, keep it close, that first half.
I think whoever I'm not gonna actually. You finish what you're saying.
They keep it close that first half. They're in it in the fourth quarter, and I think they can make this game a lot closer than what people are predicting, which is the 13.5 towards Georgia. That's a lot of points. Mm-hmm. I can maybe see them holding it to 10-7, something like that. So I could definitely take those Tigers covering the 13.5. Over under is 48.5. So I could see it going over that, right?
Mhm.
So a high scoring affair, but much closer than the 13.5. Georgia still wins the game, in my opinion. I think Georgia still wins the game. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one. I'm going to say Georgia wins the game. Let's go 35 Clemson, 45 Georgia.
So you got what?
35-45.
35 to 45.
Mm-hmm. They keep it within the 13.5, but they still lose.
All right.
And it goes over.
So I can see this game going two ways. One way is whoever has the ball last wins the game. That's the simple answer.
Oh, you think it's going to be that close?
So, I mean, if Clemson can stay in the game, they can always. Whoever also wins the coin toss. The coin toss in this game is huge. Just because whoever gets the ball first, the other team is going to have to keep responding.
Uh-huh.
So
you don't see a lot of defense in this game.
So I can see whoever gets the ball last is going to win this game.
Okay.
Or I can see Georgia coming out of the season with all the hype, beating FSU 63-3, being left out of the playoff. I can see Georgia winning this game by 30.
Oh, you still think they're mad?
Yeah, I can see those are the two ways I can see it. So I'm just gonna predict it without the last to get the ball because I can't obviously predict that.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say that Georgia wins this game 38-17.
Oh, so they blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you still think they're hunting for blood still. They're mad. Okay. I respect that. Okay, so we both got Georgia winning. I'm a little bit closer. Okay, I'm excited about what you're doing with the. We'll just keep track of all the picks and we'll see the record at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to work on some guest picks again this year. AJ Santos for the UTSA game, maybe. Oh man! So that leads us to the next game, which you all know who it is. Texas versus Colorado State University. Wow. Okay, so I know you gotta play the team in front of you, right? And Texas definitely has the better players, right?
But you've never seen really Colorado State being a big recruiter,
We all know anything can happen.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. You don't want to bring up past experiences and stuff, but we've seen as Texas fans, teams come out there like Arkansas, and they come out and just beat us. Even though we have the way better. People say we have the way better team. It's just a matter of what the team is feeling at that time and how they're feeling.
Look at matchup predictors calling it.
Yeah.
Why not just say 100?
That's still a good idea. That's still what I would say around there. However, it's still, like I said many times today, it's very, very hard to predict the first week.
Yeah. You're right.
Because we've never seen either of these teams play before.
Yeah.
And it's also hard to predict Colorado State because I don't know any of their players. I've never kept up with Colorado State at all.
Mm-hmm.
The one time I've ever watched Colorado State was the game last year, but that was only because Colorado was so hyped.
I'll see if I can give you a little bit of recap of how Colorado State last year, their last game of the season, they lost to Hawaii 27-24. Okay?
I mean, if you're losing to Hawaii, though,
Yeah. So that's kind of tough, right? The game is going to be in Austin, and it's only going to be 92 degrees.
Yeah.
It's been sweltering hot down here. Everybody knows that. It's just been crazy hot. That'll be a little bit of a relief.
Playing in DKR is one of the biggest advantages you can get as a Longhorn. I mean, whenever you're bringing a team like Colorado State, they're used to the snow up there. They're used to saying 60 degrees is hot up there.
So this is definitely that's a very important factor.
This is killer.
Mentioned. So those players are going to be cramping, right?
Yeah, 92 degrees for them is something they've never seen before.
That might as well be 105 to them. This will be a walk in the park for us. I mean, Texas, 32-point spread. Are you touching that?
It's hard to touch that because, trash time exists.
Exactly right. They could be letting off the brakes at the end. But
also, the thing is also, they
could not score.
We could go up by 14 points.
Yeah.
And we could put in our backups.
Yeah.
Because we have a big, big game up next week.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Huge
Michigan
game.
next
I know. So that's right. You don't want to get those players hurt.
So I could see Texas in this game going under the spread by a lot, just because of who we have next week. It's not going to be close.
Okay.
But I could see a game where we get guys like that running back, that beast running back. I think his name is Jared Gibson, Arch Manning. We get we get some new guys in there like Ryan Wingo. We get Jonte Cook some more reps. We get all these backup guys. Maybe put Trey Wisner as the starter. I could see this game starting out with viewers just to show just to show the fan base what the squad's looking like. I think we go up 21-0
real quick
by the end of the first quarter. And then Colorado State scores. We put in some backups and we show the world Arch Manning.
Okay. All right. I mean, the over-under on this game is 60.5. So, with Texas, the spread being 32 points, Texas is going to have to cover a lot of that over-under.
It's gonna be very hard.
So, I wouldn't touch that because I don't think Colorado State's going to score a lot.
That's true. I mean, does Colorado State have an offense this year?
I mean, I could see this game. I could see Texas covering the spread, right? I could see them winning this game like a 52-3 or something like that, and still going under.
That could be true.
Right?
That could very, very well be true.
I could see that. They cover the spread and they go under.
Yeah,
right?
Does Texas want to do something like we did to Texas Tech last year and not put Arch Manning until very late in the game, and even then not even do anything with him?
Yeah.
Or do we want to get him in there early just to keep Ewers healthy, keep all the starters healthy, just try not to give away too many big plays? I could see this game going like we could end the game as like a 48 to 3 or something.
Yeah.
48 to 3, 48 or 48 to 6, because normally there always is that team that gets there down there with 2 field goals.
Yeah. The offense is going to look good, but don't expect any razzle-dazzle. They're going to hold all that from Michigan. They're not going to do any trick plays. They're not going to do any of that. They want to save all of that for next week. But I don't think Colorado State can hang with Texas, man. I don't.
I mean, I don't think Colorado State could hang with Texas. 5-7 Texas,
Yeah.
Texas is always recruiting. We're always recruiting.
And they seem to. I mean, last year they had an amazing season, but injuries are just part of the game. We know they're going to happen, right? So they are suffering. The couple of players are a little banged up.
But that's with every team. I mean, that's what happened to Alabama. That's what happened to Alabama. Georgia, as we know it, Georgia is for these past few years iconic with their guys with cars and stuff. They're always getting DUIs and arrested.
You need to make sure everybody out there's got an Uber account for if you're a Georgia football player.
So I can imagine Texas winning 45 to 6 or something.
Yeah.
Because I just don't imagine Sark wanting to run the score up in this game.
Oh man, I think he does. I even if he doesn't, the players
are.
You can't make them not score.
The players are going to want to score.
They're going to be high flying.
I just hope that Sark doesn't go out there and say, "Let's go out there and kill Colorado State." I mean, I hope he doesn't say we should beat this team 81-0 or something like that.
Yeah, that's more of a Oklahoma move.
That's also
to do something like that. I mean, I think we'll win by a lot. I'm calling 52-3. So it's a big win, but I mean,
we really
you can't lay down and not play football. I mean, if you can score on every possession, just score on every possession.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could get Ewers out there, get him a couple snaps, let him get us an early lead, and then just let him take a break, let him learn with Sark the whole game, and just calling plays, help him call plays. Maybe this year we'll see even Ewers out there calling his own plays.
Yeah. And even more important than all of that, let him not get hurt.
Yeah,
you don't want to have him in there in the fourth quarter when you're up by 40-something points. You got some upset Colorado State players out there who are looking to say, hey, we lost. Let's go ahead and
ruin their year.
Let's go ahead and get to the quarterback and do some damage or something. Not to say that they would, but
that's also another thing.
I know what the game of football is.
That's also another thing right there. If we go up by that much, do we put Arch in? Because that's another thing. He's a great backup. Do we put another guy like Trey Owens in there? He's a 5-star.
Yeah, I say Arch. Arch is the future, so let him get his reps. Let him get his reps. If we're up comfortably and he's ready to go, don't hold him back.
Let him take it.
The fans obviously want to see it.
The fans want to see Arch start this game.
But then again, do you also remember when Arch would come into the game and he'd get a louder roar than Ewers?
Yeah.
I don't know what that does for your starting quarterback psyche. You need Ewers to be focused and know that he is the man.
If you aren't a Texas fan and you haven't been keeping up with what Ewers has been doing this offseason, he has been locked in with his boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, completely locked in. He's been offering player-only meetings. No coaches. He's getting the players only to meet up and just get ready for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting his guys ready for the year. Because he saw what happened last year. It was our entire season, the entire 2023-2024 season for Texas came down to one play against Washington.
And he dreams about it every night.
But that's how all the other playoff teams, that's how their season ended as well. I mean, Bama, they called a terrible quarterback draw on 4th and goal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Washington, they never had it from the start. It was one play that caused Michigan to go up like crazy. It was probably, I don't remember it, but it was probably a 70-yard run or something that gave Michigan the momentum. They ran away with it. They won, 45-21, something like that. It's always one play that ruins a team.
Yeah, so this game's not going to come down to one play. We both obviously got Texas winning by a lot. I'm just super excited that we're doing this again and that we're going to be seeing the boys play again this week. I'll be actually in Vegas this weekend watching a lot of these games from there. But we're going to try to do this every week. We're going to try to do it
last
every week.
Last year we had to take a big break because we got pretty busy. I mean, I got busy, he got busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it goes. But we just got to. Well, we're going to try to find it. I mean, it's fun for us, so we're just going to find the time to do it. I mean,
hopefully make it a little bit better with editing. I mean, next week you'll definitely see some clips from the Colorado State game pop up.
I think you've been doing a great job. You've been learning a lot more with the whole editing thing because I'm definitely not going to be able to help in that department. And later on, I know the videos are. I mean, this is just a father and son doing it in
an office.
His mom's office. So lighting's all not that good and all, but I mean, the main thing is that we're doing it together and we're having fun. Maybe later on down the line we'll get some brighter lights in here. I mean, even though you see we got special guests right here. I mean, kiddo was just getting out of the bath.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, who do you have winning? Colorado State or the Texas Longhorns? Tell them, who do you want to win?
Texas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You heard it there.
Mm-hmm. You heard it from the professional.
The professionals picking Texas. All right. Okay, bud. Well, if you want to sign us off there.
I think that's it. Gonna be it for this week.
Mm-hmm.
The first week of us being back, predicting week 1. We weren't able to predict week 0, obviously, but that was a great week. Hope we get many more weeks to come.
And if there's ever a team or a game that you want us to pick,
we'll do it.
Write it in the comments, man. Just write it down. We'll throw it in there real quick and maybe even give you a little shout out or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the biggest channel.
Yeah,
I will be reading and mostly responding to every comment.
Yes, he will. He will definitely be doing that.
So that is.
If there's something you want to see, man, just let us know.
We got you.
We'll call it. Yeah, we got you for sure. All right.
That'll be it for the first week. So he's Jimmy, she's Ellie, I'm Parker, and that was the first week back of Parker's predictions.
Hook 'em.
Let's go Horns!